it's really hard to make people do things. It's hard to make
Take
it's really
action. Parang ganun.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating when they ask help, but they end up not doing a huge chunk.
You're listening to Article and Design Podcast, a podcast made with love for Filipino freelancers, small business owners, and digital agencies. I am your host, Margaret Lapis. I am a digital marketing strategist for over 8 years now, and I created Article and Design. Be part of our 1 million mission in transforming 1 million Filipinos to becoming a super freelancer and live the life and work they love. Join me as I sit down and discuss with our fellow freelancers and business owners about their process, their monumental screw up, and the tips that they swear by to help you win in this freelance game forever. Hey, super freelancers, this is Margaret. I am the owner and creator of Article and Design. If you're an aspiring Filipino freelancer or an existing freelancer, hear me out first. Building a sustainable freelancing business shouldn't be overwhelming. In fact, pag ginagawa mo siya ng tama, you only need less. But the problem today, napansin ko, is that there are a lot of misinformation, fake gurus, and distractions. And most of all, you don't know who to trust. You don't know which system to follow. It can all feel very confusing. But eto ang masasabi ko, as a freelancer and a business owner since 2011. The world of marketing has changed. Nowadays, people are more interested in genuine marketing tactics rather than exaggerated claims. In Article Design, nakita namin maraming Filipinos ang nag-charge ng $1 per hour, maraming Filipinos ang nagdi-discriminate porque Filipino sila, and a lot more concerns. We want to make a change. Then we built the 1 million mission, transforming Filipinos into super freelancers who are highly paid and globally competitive. That you will be seen because of the value you bring, not because cheap ka na freelancer. But meron pa rin problema. Marami pa rin Filipinos and maraming mga information or courses na mas lalo nang dinadown ang pagiging isang Filipino. And that's why we created the Article and Design Pro, or the A&D PRO, and the only place to learn how to freelance the sustainable way, the only freelancing community you need. Live workshops, 21-day challenges, and a community of fellow freelancers who are practitioners and productivity and accountability partners. Because your next step is not to learn another course or probably watch another webinar. Your next step is to take action from what you learned. It is led by myself, with over 10 years of proven track record, and I've got nothing to lose. So if you're obsessed with the feast and famine situation and chasing clients after clients, you're charging the lowest bid, then the A&D Pro is not for you. However, if you want to build a profitable and sustainable freelancing business built around your lifestyle, and you're tired of all these fake gurus, then A&D Pro is for you. Please join us today. Let's change how Filipinos are perceived in the global freelancing place. Because we give something valuable to the table, and we know that. So if I were you, you should make a pro move now. Just go to articleanddesign.com and be an A&D Pro member. Hi everyone, so let's welcome si Jonathan de Joya. Tama ba pagka-pronounce ko? Masyadong Spanish yung name mo, no? Jonathan, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you here. So how are you? How's it going?
I feel great. I also feel the same way. I was really excited since I saw the questions pa.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you're the right show because we love conversations here. All right. So I can't wait. So without any further ado, John, for the benefit of me, of course, and our listeners sa ating Article on Design podcast, can you tell us a little bit about you muna and then ano yung ginagawa mo ngayon?
Okay. So hello guys. I'm Jonathan and I'm from the Philippines. I'm a certified life coach. And right now, I spend most of my time, it's sort of chunked in three parts. The first part is sleeping. The other part is really engaging in growing my coaching practice. And the last third is all about making sure that I'm still growing as a person and that I'm having enough for myself, that I'm able to sustain myself. So, ganun ko sasagutin yung question.
I like that you included the sleep there. Why? Yeah.
Kasi ano dati, I wasn't too particular on, I just viewed life as you need to work, you need money, you need results, you need to grow professionally. But ever since I got certified as a coach, a lot of study and reading shows that our profession is just really an extension of our personal self. And how much you take care of that body, that vessel, will reflect on how you do professionally, whether you lack sleep, whether you're productive, you engage people. So I now view that rest is actually part of being productive. That has become a huge core of how I go about my life. So yeah.
So Jonathan, so you're a professional life coach now and you're certified. Okay, you're certified to do that one. So my question is, what made you decide to choose that? Yan ba kagad yung ano mo, like since college ka, or tawag nito, lately mo lang siya na-realize na, hey, I wanted to be a professional life coach?
Okay, so I'll start from the very root of this, which was the day I was born.
We have the whole night. No, yeah, sige, go.
I think it was since I was young, I was fascinated on, if you're familiar with the Lego blocks. So binibuild ko yon, and I would like imagine communities and people interacting and engaging. So I thought I wanted to be like an engineer or a builder. Until I got into my older years of life, I realized that I was more into how parang people engage, how communities grow. Parang ganun kasi i-imagine ko yung mga maliit na city, they would grow. So I had this fascination for growth and interaction of a lot of things. And I thought it was growth. So akala ko noon college, di ba, parang finance or money or... So I got into the world of the financial world. I got into sales and marketing and the nonprofits. So doon ako napunta. That was the closest thing I could imagine in the very vague understanding of myself. O di ba, lahat vague na nga yung understanding of myself. So I create a decision out of that vagueness. So doon ako napadpad. I got into coaching when I was like in the nonprofits kasi. That was my first field, was nonprofits. I was introducing the nonprofits to partner to government agencies, to the private sector. I was telling them that we have a cause for the children, that the children need to, the children need to grow into a version of themselves that will lead the world towards the world that they dream of. And since I also was in sales and marketing at that time, same thing, I was talking to people and like how the product would help them, how would it help their life change. So it was like really focused on the idea of progress, development. And my ventures both in the nonprofits and sales and marketing and business attracted the attention ng mga kaibigan ko who was in sales, who was in business. They were asking me tips, what to do. And fascinatingly, across the board, sales in the nonprofits, sa nonprofits, I have a team of people. Ganun din sa sales and marketing. And yung mga kausap kong businessmen, lahat sila, they would seek a lot of content and information from you. But they would do the exact opposite. They will not do it, or parang 99% of what you said is noted and they'll be doing only 1 to 2% of everything that you do. So sabi ko, what's going on? Ano meron? Ano meron? It's really hard to make people do things. It's hard to make it's
action.
Really,
parang ganun.
yeah, it's fascinating when they ask help but they end up not doing a huge chunk. So luckily, by chance, I came across through a cousin of mine. I came across the craft of coaching. Ako naman from the nonprofits and sales and marketing, lagi ako nakaabang what opportunities are out there that could help me become a better someone that helps people better. Yeah, that was my framing kasi I came from student leadership, I came from nonprofits. So early on, my posturing was already in the spirit of service. So even when I went into sales and marketing and helping my friends out, In fact, doon ako nasasarmonan ng sales and marketing eh. Bakit masyado kang generous eh? Malulugi ka niyan. However, that was my posture from the very start was to really wala pa yung context of money. Sabi parang wala pa doon since I was really young when I started in service. Coaching showed me how there's a science-based methodology pala on how you can empower people in creating their decisions in a thought-provoking and creative process. Sabi ko, I was thinking about coaching. Doon ko nakita that in the huge amount of content that we could access online, how come we are still refusing to accept them? How come we are still refusing to really decide that I am being responsible for my life? Kasi ang dami ng content eh. Di ba? It's all out there. It's free. May free na. Especially in today's digital time, uso na yung value. Bigay muna ng bigay ng bigay. And in fact, you could really grow a lot already in that. So that's how I got started. Kasi sabi ko, there's a method, there's a way on how we can engage and really empower people to act.
You keep on repeating the word like system, science, method. Ako sa career ko din I really follow like systems and methods, parang ganun. And then if I have proven that one, and then inuulit ko siya to a certain like degree sa campaign, sa business ng clients ko, etc. So I'm really interested what are we going to dive deep later on. So Jonathan, so since you're a certified life coach or professional coach right now, ang isa bang life coach, nawawalan din ba ng motivation? How do you bounce back? Anong ginagawa mo? Could you give us some tips then?
I just thought of it now. Actually, hindi ko naisip yun na, nga pala, wala akong boss. It was really out of my mind. I was more like, okay, there's a set of things that I should do. And I have a vision. But when I have clients or what I call coaches, na napapansin ko there's a certain strength in willpower nila. Na napapansin ko, malakas yung loob, matapang. I ask them this question. What would your future self tell you right now? So what I do is I sort of create a boss, but their boss is also themselves, but the future version. Kasi makikinig sila dun eh. Kasi that's the future. Minsan mahirap if you're listening to yourself who's also immersed in the very same problem that you have. So sabi ko, hindi. Imagine a version of yourself na natapos na lahat ng to. What would he tell you? What would she tell you? Second is, so how do I overcome it? Number one, meron akong ginagamit na simple framework at what we call well-being areas. So ako I use yung simple lang, yung 4, which ang composition niya is physical well-being, mental well-being, emotional well-being, and spiritual well-being. So pag nagkulang ko sa motivation, first I ask myself on those 4. Sabi ko, how is my well-being in those 4 aspects? For example, physical. Pag sa physical, it involves your physical health and physical environment. Am I eating right? Am I sleeping correctly? Is my room in the right temperature? Mainit ba? So parang ganon, the physical state muna. It's like...
Parang environment. Pwede din
yeah. It's like the environment plus you physically. Kasi it's hard to be productive kung nakapatay yung ilaw, tapos malamig, hindi ka pa kumakain. Talagang tatamarin ka talaga. So yun yung first thing. Second thing is the mental and emotional state. So pag sabing mental, do you have a certain bias? Are you tolerating? Is there a toleration going on? Yung thought process mo ba stuck na siya? Nakaklag ka na ba along the way? So that's mental. And emotional state is, are you happy? How are you managing, or how are you feeling? Are you sad, happy, angry, or afraid? So parang it's very important to know kasi we decide differently depending on how we feel. People decide, iba yung personality traits ni nangunguna when they're deciding in the state of comfort, decide differently when in the state of stress. And yung pinaka-last, they decide really differently. Crisis naman, yan yung crunch time na tayo na we need to decide. So spiritual is more on sense of purpose. Identity, self-awareness. What am I doing this for? One question that I think people often forget is people are clear of the goal, but they're not clear of what they're gonna lose. If I don't do this, what am I gonna lose? Kasi importante yan eh. It has to go two way. It's like, why am I doing this job? Because if I don't do this job, I'm gonna not be able to pay my bills, maghihirap ako and all. And it has to be very clear that there's something to lose for you. Kaya very effective yung what we call deadlines eh. Di ba? When you have a deadline, napapansin mo, yung motivation mo at sipag mo habang papalapit yung deadline, palakas ng palakas. It's because the deadline is now becoming really, really painful. Naramdam mo na what you're gonna lose after this.
Imminent na eh, nandun na.
Yeah, imminent na. I think you can for the listeners, they can Google. It's called Parkinson's Law.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Parkinson's Law. Pag palapit ka ng palapit sa deadline, the urgency just really builds. At gagawa mo na yun.
We also use that in marketing eh. Like you put on a deadline, diba?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 24 hours. You can grab this price at this, parang ganun. Yeah.
Yeah. Then lastly, to wrap this up, very important is there has to be a person to check on your progress, to check on you. Because ang mahirap, alam mo yung sinasabi mo na, okay lang ako, I'm doing great, everything's fine. But you're in a blind spot. You're comforting yourself that it's good, it's going to be great. Not until someone without the bias, with the same interests that you have, will really see na, there's some points that you're missing out. In fact, meron na ako isang napanood na video by a doctor. Surgeon siya, plenty of years in the practice. One day, he felt like hindi na siya nag-grow. So he decided to get his old professor to watch him do a surgery. His name is Dr. Atul Gawande. Then, akala niya after the surgery, okay, I did great. But after the surgery, his old mentor, doctor professor, came to him na, okay, just very minor things. However, the minor things na kailangan adjust was like sobrang kapal. Ang daming na-take note ng doctor that you've missed out. And they replicated the same study over a set of medical hospitals in India. Na how does a third person, a person who's trying to check on your progress, really affect result? And they were able to plot it out.
That person could be like for us, like as freelancers tayo, mga self-employed people. So who could that person be? That could be a mentor or just accountability, mga ganon?
Wala naman actually yung concrete rule. However, ang kailangan lang into account is the trust. And one is the trust, how honest you can go. Kasi the problem is, may accountability partner ka pero hindi mo naman kayo maging honest.
Yeah.
So mahirap yun. You're still going to go back in the same blind spot. You need to have that trust and honesty na masabi mo lahat. And sunod is, how sure are you that the person will be unbiased of their own interests, of their own preferences?
I must agree with that one. Yung sabi mo yung another eye to check on you. Kasi like ako sometimes I just ask, like I have this friend na tinatrust ko talaga. And I think naman unbiased naman yung mga, we're honest to each other. Like we say like, ano yung sinasabi niya yung mga bad things about each other. Like ganun. So, tinanong ko siya before. I was in this like parang low siya ng career ko before. So sabi ko, ano bang problema ko? I feel so used and abused ng mga tao. Parang ganun. So sinabi niya sa akin, you know what? I think ang problem mo kasi you're just being too nice. Sabi ko, what do you mean? So parang inisa-isa namin yung parang scenario. So sinabi niya talaga sa akin. Nag-realize ko talaga na tama siya. And then from then on, tinanggal ko yung mga ganung characters ko. Ang laki ng tulong niya talaga. Napakaganda na sinabi mo yan. And I like the 4 frameworks. Guys, please, to all our listeners, dun muna, 4 frameworks, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, titingnan natin. What are your thoughts, Jonathan, sa yung sinasabi nilang work-life balance? Na-achieve ba yan? Or myth ba yan? Or is it, it's just another concept lang? What do you think?
So I'd start with any person in the world is empowered to define their life. So ikaw, how do you really want to define your life? That's the first thing. And there's one thing I have seen. Parang may observation ako is there are people that treat work as completely separate with their personal lives. Di pwede. It's separate. Pag andito ako sa bahay or when I'm outside there, I'm Jonathan or I'm Margaret, period. And there are people who live their craft where their work and their life can't be separated. If you see them outside, like people I follow like Tony Robbins or even yung mga sikat na tao like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, they're attached to whatever their tweets are all about their work. So they have designed their life in a way that works for them. So kaya nga nung dati, I was also a believer of work-life balance. So I mean, I'm not a believer, but it's more like work-life balance is a concept, but
Yeah.
living your craft is also another concept in itself.
Yeah.
Na both can work and not work for certain set of people who need, ang nagde-define here is boundaries. How thin or thick are the boundaries between the things that you do? How thick are they? Should your personal identity be separate from your professional identity, or do you want them to be together? How will those two separate spaces thrive? What's the best format? And kailan mo ba gagalawin yung boundary na yon? You need to know that as well. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi minsan, paano kung close sale na sana to? Kaso, hindi, tao ako ngayon. I'm not a professional ngayon. Bahala ka dyan. But it's gonna give you like, 100 million pesos. O, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Kailangan mo lang on that day basagin yung boundary mo.
Yeah.
So, knowing when to shift those will really empower you. Halimbawa, nung pandemic, so nung pandemic was a very beautiful, talaga yung beautiful time kasi a lot of learning, a lot of growth, and dahil umuwi sa bahay karamihan ng tao, yung boundary kasing yon with work and home, na blur ulit eh.
Yeah.
And sabi nila, diba, no, dapat it's better in the office. Some naman, no, it's better at home. The way I observe it, as I've also coached people who have suffered and thrived both in the same instances. Some people are better at communicating with their relationships at home, and they're more in control when they're at home. Some naman, they are better with their workmates, and they're better at controlling their situation at work. So it's important ano yung relationship with your people around you. Some naman have estranged relationship with their family. Kaya nahihirapan sila na, alas 8 na, dapat magtatrabaho na ako dito ha. Wala nang, hindi pwedeng inuutusan niyo pa ako magluto mamaya ng itlog. Kasi hindi porke nasa bahay ako.
Or magsaing.
Magsaing, I'm not working. So ako, I journeyed that as well kasi that nga no, my mom was not used to me being at home, and sa kanya, the perception was, nasa bahay ka, so gawa ka ng gawaing bahay. And what I needed to do was, I needed to go that for me, that awkward, necessary conversation of engaging my family, that we need to talk. Yun yung mahirap eh, kasi isa-set mo talaga yung ground, and you're afraid of that resistance, you're afraid of that. If you've never been open to your family, talagang mahihirapan ka in really parang titimplahin mo ulit yung household mo itself.
You know what? You can control how you design your life eh. No? You have the power, kumbaga. You have the power to, alam mo yun, to frame yung life mo. And then, parang kasali din siya sa klase ng branding mo eh. So, do you brand yourself ba na like, kasali na yung, like, this is a lifestyle branding. Like, this is what I do. I'm a freelancer, pero this ganito, this is what I do in a day, yung mga ganun-ganon. And this is my life. I live with like, sabihin natin, I have 1 kid and 2 pets, mga ganun-ganon. I were to take your answer, John, parang siya eh, you have the ability, no, to decide or to control yung work-life balance mo. Am I right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure marami kang nakausap na different types of people like working from home or sa corporate, self-employed, etc. Sa experience mo, based sa lahat ng naranasan mo, if there are 3 things or probably 2 things, it's up to you, reasons na bakit nagstagnate yung growth natin as Filipinos, what do you think are those 2 or 3 things?
First, kasi I grew up as a lone wolf. Mm-hmm. So I would do a lot of things on my own. And yeah, I don't want to be reliant on others. But the truth is, you can really just carry a certain amount until di mo na kaya. But my desire to be a lone wolf kasi I wanted to be quick, so mabilis. I was consuming a lot of content on my own. But may halo rin kasi yun na ako nang magbabasa, and I don't like being told what to do. Tapos when I have a mistake, I don't like it being parang, nagkamali ka. I don't like other people pointing it out. Even when I'm struggling, ayoko, don't point it out. I mean, I already know, di ba? And that has really made me instead of learning before I create the mistakes. Now I'm creating a lot of mistakes first, then learning. And I think the first thing na it took me a long time to swallow was humility. My refusal to be humble. That I really need to know when I'm not doing good. That I cannot do it alone. That all of my decisions to consume content on my own, not hear my mistakes, be a lone wolf, was founded that I don't like being challenged. It was the first talaga na when you listen to you. Second is you cannot choose what you don't know. For example, I spent a lot of time just listening to a few people. Tapos parang may ibang tao dyan na parang di ko sila feel pakinggan. Parang di ko trip. Ano ako, I get parang doubtful agad ako na ko pakinggan to, di ko feel. Ang pinaka-example ko dyan was since I came from a different world, the coaching world. May mga nababasa akong content about copywriting. It's so different how you would write coaching content. So I was that bias na hindi ayoko basahin. Until sa TikTok, wala akong choice. As you scroll down, mababasa mo talaga. Rikinig ko. And sabi ko, hold on, that made a lot of sense. And so parang nabuksan ako doon that yung second kong stagnate growth is not spending time to discover new things, especially for things that you feel like won't work for you or you feel like is challenging your value.
Parang may bias ka din eh.
Kasi doon yeah, it's really exploring the very biases and kung saan nagkaka-friction yung values mo, you're really going to grow a lot. Kasi yun nga essence of growth eh. Kaya nga growth kasi beyond who you are.
Yeah,
so it's beyond who you are, it's bound to be uncomfortable, it's going to be unfamiliar, and it's really going to be untested. And you really need to go to those three things na kaya nga sabi ko, when you're exploring the idea of growth, kailangan ready ka. Because you are surrendering power. You are surrendering strength. Kasi lalabas ka nga eh. I'm going to go somewhere unfamiliar. Ang dami kong hindi alam dito. So, that's the second thing. And third one is, babalik ako sa one of my favorite is accountability. With everything that you're consuming, everything that you're learning, how can you make sure that even your own pledges, even ikaw mismo, you don't clog yourself? You can actually put yourself into a situation na hindi rin mabuti para sa iyo.
Ayoko na, sinubukan ko to. Ayoko na, hindi na siya nag-work sa akin. Sinubukan ko yung freelancing. Nanood ako ng webinar ni Margaret. Sinubukan ko for 1 week. Ayoko na. Alam mo yun. Nag-start ako ng business sa Shopee. After 1 month, ayoko na. So people are giving up eh, diba? We give up. And I think that's part of being human. So if you have one tip sa ating mga kapwa, na i-apply namin ng mga tao, push ourselves pa. And if you feel like giving up, what would that be?
I felt that it's going to be unconventional, but it's actually how I was going to respond if I was in a coaching session with this person. I'm going to acknowledge first that and say that giving up is okay. That's the first thing. And second is, I would make people ask themselves the question: if I give up, what would I lose, and what would I gain? Seeing those two things now, how will those two scenarios fit into the life I imagine, and which one will best serve me? So those were the things to calibrate. Kasi giving up is a symptom eh. That's something, there's friction, there's a problem somewhere out there. However, you're quite uncertain of which decision is going to serve the bigger picture that you imagine for your life. So it's like you're a freelancer. However, freelancing is like one part of your entire life. You can be a freelancer in some other form. You can do a lot of other things. So sometimes in concerns like giving up or similar problems, naka-tunnel vision tayo, di ba? Nag-give up ako and I shouldn't. So, ang ginagawa ko una, nilalabas ko sila. There's a big picture out there and this problem right now of giving up is just one part of it. How do you see first the situation going if you decide in favor and against?
That's very clear. There is a framework. There's two questions. Kasi honestly, it's okay to give up. Kasi there are things kasi na you have to give up. Kasi sometimes hindi na siya worth it eh, di ba? Sometimes it's not worth it to push. Sometimes it's not good for your well-being. And sometimes probably it's really not your turf. Trying so hard Kasi probably you're just impressing someone else. Alam mo yung ganon, you're pleasing other people, probably your family or whatsoever, yung mga ganon, or somebody else na important sa'yo. So sometimes you have to really make a decision based dun sa dalawang questions lang napakaganda and very powerful. What do you think, yung sa mga tao na yung sinasabi nila na huwag ka mag-decide pag sobrang masaya ka, huwag ka din mag-decide pag sobrang malungkot ka. What do you think on that one? Will it affect ba sa decision-making process natin? Or hindi na? Mas maganda ba mag-decide kung masaya ka? Or what do you think?
Yeah. Now that got me thinking into, bumabalik ako sa mga coaching sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi there's really a lot of acknowledgement and validation of the feeling. Like example, pag sinampal ka dyan, like you can't control to get angry. You can control the response, but you can't control your emotion. That's the truth. Di ba? Some people say na, control your emotions. Totoo, hindi. Pag galit ka, pag nagsiselos ka, or pag you feel sad, you can't. You can't control the feeling, just the reaction, the response of the body. Pagdating sa question mo na, should I decide when I'm emotional? I think, ang naisip ko kasi sunod dyan is, paano kung crunch time na? Kailangan mo na mag-decide. Hintayin ko pa ba maging hindi ako emotional? So, it's more like even at an emotional state, how can I reach the most responsible and viable action that I could take? You will really feel things. Kahit minsan nga, during a coaching session yourself, umiikot yung emotion mo. Even when you're conversing with someone. Even when being emotionless, ang tawag doon, apathy. So the next question ko, do you want to decide in a state of apathy? Diba? So it goes back there. So it's more like I now dive into the area that how can you arrive into a sound and responsible decision or strategy, even with emotions present that could change anytime?
Yeah.
I guess that's how I would answer that question.
Yes. Good. Wow, I hope I still have time, Jonathan. But dito muna tayo. Probably we're gonna invite you again very soon because I think there's a lot more to deconstruct sa ganito when we talk about motivation and yung mga work-life balance and etc. But thank you so much for your time, John. And please, Jont, where can the listeners connect with you?
Okay, so you can follow me at my Facebook page, Life Coach Joe Coaching Services. But I honestly I prefer that you would connect with me through my personal account. That would be Jonathan de Joya. It helps me understand them better and ask questions that are more direct, and it helps them build honesty towards me. I actually coach for free. Like, you just wanna talk, Jonathan, I'm kind of stuck in a rut right now. I really do it. And I actively share content because coaches, our product really is not content. Our product is empowerment.
Yes.
So, kaya we can really share a lot of things. And I'm very clear when I coach na paid. I'm very clear with that kung kailan. So, no problems, wag kayong mahiya. Then 3 is that I actually have 3 coaching programs. Nakatulong yung session na to kasi for a long period of time I was not naming them. I named and I'm sort of capturing 3 sets of people with my 3 coaching programs. Number 1 yung ano ko is it starts with new initiative coaching program. These are people that want to reach out, that they're wondering a lot of their ambitions, they're consuming a lot of content, and they're doing a lot of planning. Second one is my the 8 to 5's personal growth coaching program. So 8 to 5 as in 8 to 5 employee. Doon ko lang siya kinuha yung pop culture na 8 to 5 ka. I think the quote na ginamit ko dito is, this is for people who feel that the job pays the bill but not the soul. Yeah, yun yung coaching program. Yeah. So for my 3rd coaching program, I named it as My Urgency is in Emergency. So stuck in desire. So these are for people with big dreams but are huge procrastinators, and there's a lot of comfort in their life that moving forward is uncomfortable for them.
Reach out to Jonathan. He has a free coaching then. And yun nga, sabi niya, he's very clear naman if it's a paid coaching. So, ilalagay namin yung kanyang links, how to reach out to him on his Facebook. He prefers to add him personally para magkaroon tayo ng trust and honesty. Thank you so much, Jonathan. And I'm so happy you're here, and thank you for being our guest. And I hope you can come back again sa ating podcast and probably in one of our webinars. And guys, if you wanted to chat din kay Jonathan and see his content, if you're a member of our Discord, nandun din siya. ikaw yung parang more on sa motivation na nag-share doon. Okay? So if you wanted to, just exchange ideas with him, nandun si Jonathan, guys, sa ating Discord. So just go to Discord and search for Article and Design, or you can just click the link dun sa description dito and sumali kayo sa aming Discord.
I had a great time and I'm excited for more projects between us.
Yes, of course, of course. Yes, Jonathan. So I'll talk to you again soon, and I'll see you in Discord. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. You're a student and you want to start freelancing, but you have no idea where to start or how to make money online. Hi, this is Margaret, the owner again, and the creator of Article and Design podcast. So I'd like to invite you on this upcoming live webinar workshop on August 6, 2022 in the Philippines. It is called Freelancing for Students Live Webinar. It is the perfect solution for you if you don't know what type of freelancing is right for you, how much to charge, or where to find work. So during this webinar, guys, we'll provide an overview of what is freelancing and different types of freelancing that you can do, the skills needed to be successful in this one, and how to earn money, how to find work, how to set your rates and prices, and of course, how to maintain a freelance business while you're still studying. And most of all, guys, we are going to answer the questions specific to your situation. So additional to that, if you book now, you're going to get these two bonuses. Bonus 1 is a list of sites where you can get clients, and bonus 2 is a script for getting clients. So if you want to start earning while studying, so join us this August 6, 2022 at 4 p.m. Australian time. Limited seats only, so we'll see you on the flip side. So just go to articleanddesigncourses.com/freelancing-for-students. So I repeat, articleanddesigncourses.com/freelancing-for-students. Join us now. Thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show and found content helpful, insightful, or entertaining. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, guys, please feel free to reach out to us on our Discord, YouTube, or Facebook platforms. Just search for Article and Design. If you want to go to the next level, check out our website, articleanddesign.com, and be an A&D PRO member. Until next time, you super freelancers, stay grounded. Bye! Oh, hey, you're still here. Can you give us a minute and leave us a review on our Facebook page? Thank you so much.